There's more to collecting Pokemon cards than just acquiring the cards themselves. The way you protect and store your cards may be just as important, because it means preserving the value of your collection. That's why in this video, I'm going to be sharing my top 12 collecting essentials. These are a list of products that I recommend and personally use myself. And I'll be sure to provide links to each of the products in the description below. Now, just to note that these are affiliate links, but it costs nothing extra to you to purchase through these links, and it goes to help to support the channel. But you'll want to make sure and watch all the way to the end, because I'll be sharing some exclusive promo codes so that you can save even more on these products. Now, one of the most basic yet effective ways to protect your Pokemon cards is using penny sleeves like these Ultra Pros right here, which are the ones I'm linking in the description below. You can obviously use whatever brand you prefer, but these penny sleeves get their name because they are very affordable. As you can see, they are just a very thin plastic, and they really help to protect your cards from mainly scratches and a few little dings here. So you can see that they fit actually fairly loosely in here. You do have some room at the top and on the sides. And so yeah, as far as just trying to if you're opening up Pokemon card packs, you definitely want to have some sleeves like these readily available so that you can at least stick it on the table and know that you're not going to accidentally scratch it or ding the edge as you're handling them. So these definitely have their use, and if you guys are a fan of the channel, you guys know that I actually don't use these very often because I actually prefer a different type of sleeve, which is actually number 2 on our list. But I will say that I do use penny sleeves on occasion for different purposes. But the sleeves that I prefer are these ones here, which are perfect fit sleeves. As the name suggests, these actually provide a perfect or very snug fit for your cards, which I'll show you here. These are actually by a Japanese company called KMC. And what you can do is you actually fit them in very snugly like so. Now, I'm actually not going to put it in all the way because what I actually prefer to do, I generally actually like to put these in upside down. And I think you'll see why in just a moment. I know a lot of people give me flack for this, but yes, I actually sleeve my cards upside down in these perfect fit sleeves. You can see how there's very little room on the edges there, but I just prefer to handle my cards this way when I'm doing openings, or even just for my, maybe slightly cheaper cards, I may just include a sleeve like this and then put it in a binder. But again, the reason that I use these is because what I like to do is actually double sleeve my cards. And so you can actually do this with the penny sleeves. You can double sleeve them like so. I'll show you that. And so yeah, that's what they're really good for. That way they have protection on the top and the bottom, and that's why I do them upside down. But actually what I prefer to do when I'm double sleeving is I use this third product here, which is Dragon Shield. These are actually basically semi-rigid sleeves. These are the clear classic ones. They do make these in a variety of styles and colors, and even they have a matte version, but I really just prefer these clear classic versions because it provides that clarity for actually enjoying and viewing your Pokemon cards. So what you'll see here is that it's a little bit of a snugger fit, but you can actually double sleeve your cards like so. Sometimes if you need to, you can actually give it a little bit of a push. If it's a little tough to get in there, you just do it like this. And again, because it's sleeved upside down, it's totally protected there at the top. Give it a few taps, and we're ready to go. And so I personally prefer to sleeve my cards like this with those combination of the perfect fits and the Dragon Shield sleeves. And it does kind of provide a little bit more rigid protection to where if I do kind of give it a little bend, it's not going to really give too much. And again, if I drop it even like this, it's not going to ding the corners or the edges because it's protected in that way. Now, number 4, one of the most common ways collectors use to protect their Pokemon cards is using top loaders. So they're basically these hard plastic cases that this really protects from extreme bends, and is really the best way to do it. And again, we're already double sleeved here, so we're maybe overdoing it, but in my opinion, for your more expensive cards, you definitely want to provide as much protection as possible. And so, as you can see, got some protection on all sides here, and now we are protected as far as major bends or anything like that. It's going to take a lot to force this card to be bent when it's inside of a top loader like so. So now you can definitely find these top loaders in a variety of brands, but I definitely recommend the brand VaultX. And the reason I mention them is because you can actually get a 10% off of your purchase of their top loaders or any of their other products you may choose to pick up. So you'll find the link to them in the description below, and if you buy them on Amazon, you can actually use the code LEGENDVX to get that 10% off. So make sure you take advantage of that. Now, number 5 on our list is a product that I'm actually surprised that I don't see more Pokemon card collectors use, because it's very commonly used in the sports trading card hobby, and that is one-touches. Now, these are basically magnetic cases, and these are basically the step up from a top loader. As you can see, they are much thicker than a top loader. They are a very hard plastic, and they are going to provide some great protection for your Pokemon cards. Now, I actually prefer to use this brand called ProMold. Now, don't let their branding fool you. This is actually the highest quality magnetic case that I have seen on the market so far, and I like it for a number of reasons here. So let me first show you here. The magnet here is actually incredibly strong. It's actually, you have to apply quite a bit of pressure to get it apart, and I think that that's actually a positive. So that means that when you are dropping, if you happen to drop one of these, it's not just going to snap right open and your card fall out. So there we go, we got it out open there. So let's stick one of our cards here. We actually have our base set Charizard here, and as you can see, we do have it double sleeved with both a perfect fit and a dragon shield sleeve, but you can also use regular penny sleeves as well for this. And that's one of the reasons that I really prefer the Pro Molds, is because other brands, they actually don't usually fit a sleeve in there, and I think that's to its detriment. I feel like you need to sleeve your card before putting them into a magnetic case like this. So fortunately, these dragon shields, they fit pretty much perfectly in there. And we're just going to snap it in there like so, and as you can see, it maybe just has a little bit of wiggle room, but not very much at all. But again, what I also love about these Pro Molds is that they're actually the clearest ones that I have seen out there. They're definitely clearer than the ones by Ultra Pro that I've seen. And yeah, I just really like these. A slightly more premium product, but again, oftentimes when you're using these cases, you're wanting to protect them, but you're also often wanting to display your cards as well as possible. So I feel like you really get that clarity of that hollow foil on this Charizard right here. So definitely recommend these magnetic cases. And now our 6th product here is more or less an alternative to the top loaders that we mentioned earlier, although they do have a little bit of a different use within the industry, but they are these card savers, or often called semi-rigids. I prefer these ones here from VaultX, but of course there are a variety of companies that make these, but I do want to mention the VaultX ones because, again, you can use my link below and you can use my code LEGENDVX to get 10% off your order. So as the name suggests, these provide semi-rigid protection for your cards. You see that they are still pretty bendable, but what you want to do with these is you want to stick your card in a penny sleeve. I definitely recommend generally the penny sleeves for these, which is why I do still use penny sleeves, is for this purpose. And these are actually perfect for setting your cards off to get graded. This is generally just what the graders prefer you send your cards in. I'm not quite 100% sure the reasons for it. I know for one thing that these do kind of hold your cards very firmly in place, so you kind of have to kind of work the card in there like so, and I often will like to kind of give it a few taps to kind of get it in there a little further. So yeah, as you can see, if I apply enough force, it will move around in there. I think that one thing the graders like is that it doesn't really move around in there, and my guess is that they actually like to cut your card out of there instead of trying to pull it out when they're about to grade your cards. So yeah, these are useful for if you do like to get cards graded, although some people do like to use these as an alternative to top loaders. They may just store their cards away in these instead of top loaders. So it's definitely a personal preference there, but yeah, I definitely recommend you guys check out the VaultX ones. Again, link in the description below for these. Now, if you guys are getting any value out of this video, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon card collecting tips in the future. Now, so far we've mentioned several ways that you can protect your Pokemon cards, but for number 7, I want to share probably the most common way people like to store their cards, and that is through binders. And specifically, I recommend VaultX. As you can see, they come in a variety of colors here. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of our binders. Now, like a lot of the products we've mentioned here today, there are a variety of brands that you can go with for even binders, but I pretty much exclusively go with VaultX because the quality is just incredible. I mean, just if you could feel this, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's a nice fabric here. It's cushioned, so you do have some nice protection on the outside. And I also like that these are zip sealed, so you can kind of protect from any moisture or anything else coming to damage your cards. So let's go ahead and open up our VaultX binder here. You got a nice black backdrop, and of course these particular binders, they actually are side loaded. So in comparison to what a lot of us grew up used to, those clear sleeves that just kind of went in a 3-ring binder. First of all, these are not a 3-ring binder, and those can often kind of damage your cards because of the rings. They can kind of dent the cards here on the side. So these are not like that. But also, instead of sticking your cards in from the top like those were, these actually slide in and out from the side. So that means that they are side loaded. So you'll see here that these are double sleeved with the perfect fits and the dragon shield. And part of the reason I like to do that is for my binders, so that I can just slip these in and out of their spots seamlessly without worrying about damaging those cards. So yeah, super high quality product. I can't say enough good things about the VaultX binders. And like I said again, you can use my code LEGENDVX or the link in the description below, and you'll get your 10% off whether or not you buy it on Amazon or VaultX. It doesn't matter, just use my code there. Now, this next product is one that I actually discovered very recently, and it's another great storage option, especially if you like to keep a lot of your cards in top loaders, one touches, or if you have a lot of graded cards. And that is actually this graded card box right here. So I was actually looking for something where I could actually store my cards and also just kind of throw this in my backpack if I'm going to a trade night or a Collecticon. I actually bought this specifically for Collecticon not too long ago. So as you can see, it's kind of magnetically sealed like so. It's a nice hard material here. It's actually very similar to what you'd find for a deck box if you are a player of the game. But as you can see, you can actually store your graded cards in here like so. And I believe I even have, I actually have some of my cards in top loaders that fit very nicely in here. They're not quite as snug as the graded cards are. As you can see, there is some room on the top, but it can still be a great place if you need a place to store these, and it does feel very well protected. So definitely recommend this if you need just a place to store your cards. And I believe this stores about 30 graded cards, whether you're with BGS or PSA or CGC. So that's about what you can expect to store for these. And by the way, yes, I did want to check real quick to see if these semi-rigids fit, and yeah, actually they fit perfectly, which makes sense because they're about the width of a graded card as well. Now, if you find you need even more space than that to store your graded cards or travel with them to card shows and what have you, don't worry, I've got something even better for you, which is the Panopply graded card case. This thing is a beast. Now, this Panopply case feels super premium and it looks super premium. I love the black hardware, but yeah, it's a very nice hard material. Feels very good. You got some metal hardware on the side here. You got a carrying handle, and of course you also have security features here. You got a combination lock, which of course can come very in handy if you're taking this to a card show or something like that. Make sure you can protect it from theft. So let's go ahead and open this up and we'll take a look inside. So this is actually the 4-row version. They have, I believe, 2 other versions, one with 2 rows and one with 3 rows, but the 4-row version actually holds up to 160 graded cards. So we got a lot of different stuff in here. As you can see, we do have our Beckett slabs in here. a great place to store them, even just here at home. I actually haven't taken this to a trade show so far, but just to have a place to store these here at my office is great. So you can see that these, the Beckett slabs, which tend to be a little bit wider, they have a nice snug fit in there. You also have your CGC and your PSA. They have a little bit more wiggle room on the side, but nothing crazy. Honestly, it still works very well. I also love that they include these nice foam dividers, which can be great for spacing out your cards, making sure they're not going to move around too much in there. Yeah, so we got not only the graded cards, I actually have stored even some top-loaded cards in here, so it can be great for that as well. We have, let's see, we got some packs in here, they fit. We got some one-touches as well, so a lot of different options just for storing your cards away that you don't feel comfortable maybe putting in a binder or something like that. So yeah, I got some foam on the side, nice foam kind of up top here, like a mesh foam. I really love the quality of these Panopply cases, and yeah, definitely recommend them. Alright, so we've covered how to protect your cards and how to store them, but we have yet to cover one more topic that's important to a lot of collectors out there, which is displaying your cards, whether or not for your own enjoyment or just to show it off to others. And I personally can't think of a better way to do that than through this product here by Collect3D. They actually create these nice graded card stands that you've probably seen back here. And what they actually do, they actually have these little pegs here that swivel out, and it allows you to display your Pokemon cards. So they make these for each of the different grading companies. As you can see, this is our Beckett one here with the white style. You also have one for CGC that fits those perfectly. And by the way, these do come in a variety of colors. So if you want to kind of color match your cards or color match the label of your graded card, you can do so. And you can even pick these up specifically for your one-touches as well if you're not integrated Pokemon cards. Yeah, so let me just show you how this works. All you really have to do is line up your card and it just snaps right into the case like so. And again, you swivel these out and you can display your card very nicely. I really enjoy these, and actually Collect3D has graciously offered you guys 15% off of your order if you decide to pick them up. Just use my code LEGEND and also use the link in the description below and you'll get that 15% off. Now, one last thing I'll say though is that if your main goal is actually to protect your graded cards like this, these cases do provide a little bit of protection. They are kind of a hard plastic, and I think they will protect your cards from small falls like that. But if your main goal is to protect your cards, I would actually recommend a different product here, which is Graded Guard. Now, these are fantastic. They're basically like a phone case for your graded Pokemon cards, and of course for each of the different grading companies as well. So let me show you how these work. So they have a nice kind of rubbery, probably silicone finish around the edges here, and then they do have a hard plastic on the back. So all you have to do is take one of your graded Pokemon cards and pop them in there. Yeah, and that can be really nice for also storing your cards and you know, just handling them on a regular basis. I really like this frosted clear one. It's kind of a nice low profile for this one. So yeah guys, for protecting your graded Pokemon cards, I definitely recommend Graded Guard. And finally, for the last product that I want to recommend to you, we actually need to take a little bit of a field trip over to my wall here, so give me just a second. So for number 12, we have this graded card wall-mounted display case, which I love. It's really a great way to display your Pokemon cards. As you can see, we got a lot of graded cards, and it's kind of a nice clear finish on the front. We also have a lot of our one-touches, mostly Star Wars cards right there. But what you can see is this actually opens from the side. It got some latches here, and so it'll just kind of swing open like so, and you can take your cards in and out and put them up there as you need to and rearrange it however you like. So yeah, a very cool product. Definitely one I recommend if you like to display your cards for all to see. I really hope you found this video helpful, and I think you may find one of these videos here helpful as well. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to support the channel, and I just want to let you know that no matter what you're going through, you are not alone. God is with you and He loves you, and we do too. I'll catch you next time.